I have never shared this story before. Honestly, I don't even know if I should. But every time I close my eyes at night, I still see him, the man at my window. And I know that if I don't tell someone, the silence will eat me alive. It happened 2 years ago when I was 21, living alone for the first time. My parents had moved to another city, and I rented a small apartment in an old building in a quiet neighborhood of Portland. The place was cheap, maybe too cheap, but at the time, I didn't ask questions. I was just excited to be independent. The apartment was on the first floor. It wasn't big, just a living room, a tiny kitchen, a bathroom, and my bedroom. My window faced the alley behind the building. I thought it was nice, because I could always get fresh air, and no one ever used the alley. At least, that's what I believed. The first week went fine. I unpacked, decorated, and even invited a couple of friends over. But then strange things started happening. The first thing I noticed was the blinds in my bedroom. I was sure I left them closed at night, but sometimes I'd wake up to find them slightly open, just enough for someone to look inside. At first, I thought maybe I was just tired and forgot. But then it kept happening. One morning, I found the blinds pulled up halfway. I hadn't touched them. My stomach turned cold, but I told myself it must have been me, half asleep. I tried to ignore it. Then, there was the sound. It was around 2 a.m. when I woke up to a scratching noise near my window. Slow. Deliberate. Like someone dragging their fingernails across the glass. I froze. My bed was only 3 feet away from the window. I couldn't bring myself to look. I just lay there, my heart pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. After maybe 10 seconds, the scratching stopped. I told myself it must have been a tree branch, even though there were no trees outside my window. The next morning, I checked. Nothing. No branch, no marks. Just the same dirty glass and the alley beyond. For a while, things went quiet. I started to believe maybe I had imagined it. Stress, lack of sleep, moving to a new place, it all made sense. Until one night, I woke up again, not from a sound, but from a feeling. You know that feeling when someone's watching you? When your body somehow knows before your brain does? I opened my eyes. And there he was. A man. Standing outside my window. He wasn't moving. Just standing there, his face almost pressed against the glass. The blinds were half open, just enough to show me his pale face lit by the faint yellow glow of the alley lamp. His eyes were wide, too wide, and he was smiling. I couldn't scream. My throat locked up. I just pulled the blanket over my face like a terrified child. When I finally got the courage to look again, he was gone. I told myself it was a dream. It had to be. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. The next day, I called my landlord and asked if the alley had cameras. He said no. But don't worry, he laughed, nobody ever goes back there. I wanted to argue, but what could I say? A smiling man looked into my room last night. It sounded insane. That night, I pushed my dresser against the window. It was heavy, but I thought it would keep me safe. I slept with my phone in my hand, ready to call 911. For a week, nothing happened. I started to relax again. Maybe he got bored. Maybe he found someone else to scare. Then came the tapping. It started softly, like raindrops on the glass. Tap. 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 I sat up in bed, my heart in my throat. The dresser was still in place. No way he could see me. But the tapping grew louder, sharper, more insistent. And then, his voice. Open up. A whisper. So quiet I thought maybe I imagined it. But then again. Open the window. I bolted out of bed and called the police. They came, searched the alley, and found nothing. One officer gave me a sympathetic look, but the other seemed annoyed. It's probably just kids messing around. You should relax. But I knew it wasn't kids. Kids don't smile like that. After that, I stopped sleeping. I'd lie awake every night, staring at the ceiling, waiting for the tapping, the scratching, the whisper. Some nights, it didn't come. Others, it did. I lived in constant fear. Then, one night, something changed. I woke up around 3 a.m. The room was silent. Too silent. I turned my head toward the window and felt my stomach drop. The dresser was moved. Not much, just a few inches. But enough to show that someone had pushed it. From the outside. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't make a sound. I grabbed my phone, ready to dial 911, when I noticed something else. A note. Slipped under my door. My hands shook as I picked it up. The paper was crumpled, the handwriting messy, almost frantic. It said, "Why did you stop looking at me?" That was the moment I truly broke. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I barely left the apartment. I kept the lights on 24/7, afraid of the dark. My friends begged me to move out, but I couldn't afford another place. I felt trapped. 2 nights later, I woke up to the sound of my bedroom window sliding open. Slowly. Carefully. I froze. The dresser was still in place, but it was moving. Inch by inch, as if someone was pushing from the outside. And then, his face appeared. That same wide smile. Those eyes that never blinked. His hands pressed against the glass, straining to lift it higher. I screamed. Finally, I screamed so loud it hurt my throat. I ran to the front door, yanked it open, and bolted into the hallway. My neighbors opened their doors, confused and half asleep. When I told them what happened, they all rushed outside with me. But by the time the police arrived, he was gone. No fingerprints. No footprints in the alley. Nothing. That was the last night I ever slept in that apartment. I packed my things and left the next morning. I didn't even care about losing the deposit. It's been 2 years, but I still see him sometimes. Not in real life, but in dreams. I'll wake up and swear I hear tapping at my window, even though I live on the 4th floor now. Sometimes I find myself checking the blinds in the middle of the night, just to be sure. The worst part? I never told anyone about the note. I still have it, folded up in a box under my bed. Because part of me knows, he'll be back. And when he comes, he'll want an answer to his question.